Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video. Our baby boy, Evan, was born yesterday. We're at the hospital and I just wanted to show you a little bit of what it's like having a baby during a pandemic. So I'm just going to show you what the room is like and tell you about some of the restrictions that are on us that wouldn't normally be on us. So first I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you Evan. This is my boy. This is Evan. Oh, he's saying hi. This is Evan Von Jong Miller. 2 middle names. And this is Evan's mommy. Say hi, Evan. This thing right here. It's like the things at Walmart that if you walk through the door, an alarm goes off. Plus I believe there's a GPS tracker in there, so it lets him know where he is. This is just his band that's got family information on it. That's his little umbilical cord. Isn't he cute? So this is the room that we're in. It's actually the third room we're in. The night before we were in the delivery room. So they bring you in to a prep room, which is also the delivery room, and it's a nice, comfortable room with a nice bed for my wife and chairs and tables. And the only difference is that bed has 2 stirrups that pop up from the bottom, and then on the ceiling there's these 2 hugely bright lights. Then once the baby's born, they bring the mom, the father, and the baby into one of these rooms. Well, we were in a different room, but the bathroom door fell and almost fell on my wife. So because they had to fix that, they brought us into this room. This hospital, they have only single rooms. This one has 2 beds right now, but when we got in here it didn't. It had a very uncomfortable chair that I slept in 2 nights ago, and when I got up I could barely walk. Not that I actually got much sleep, but last night they were nice enough to bring me this bed because of my back. So last night I slept pretty well, even with Evan going through the bilirubin light therapy. So they were going to discharge us last night, but because of the bilirubin test, they decided to keep us for another night. And so Evan's out right now getting the 3rd test to see if we can go home. So this right there is the door that can never be open. This door leads to the outside. Neither myself nor my wife are allowed to leave that door. Normally, you can come and go as you want, but because of the pandemic, once you're in here, you're in here. If you leave, you can't come back in. This is a standard bathroom. It's just like the bathroom in the other room we were in before the door fell and they moved us to this room. So other than being trapped in the room, you can't even go out in the hallway. You can't go to the cafeteria. The cafeteria is closed anyway. I want to bring snacks. Having good snacks keeps mommy and daddy happy. And if you like a specific drink, bring it. Because like I said, no one in or out. And these are your options. Shasta ginger ale, which I guess for ginger ale is okay. Shasta cola, which for cola is absolutely nasty. These little cups of juice, they've got apple juice, orange juice, and they have a different juice mix. It's like 15% juice and it's really sugary. And of course you got water. They don't have a menu for the meals like they normally would. They just have prefixes. They do feed the father, but on the night that my baby was born, they sent up food, the prefix, and it was covered in mushrooms, and I'm allergic to mushrooms, so I didn't eat dinner that night. But it's okay, because as soon as the mushrooms got there, the labor really started to happen, and Evan was born like 2 hours later. So and it was really intense. It was seeing my son born was an amazing experience. So I'm happy they let me in. I know in New York for about a month they weren't letting fathers in. They weren't letting any support person in. So At least Jersey's doing that. The outpatient procedures, the ultrasounds, the doctor's office appointments, fathers aren't allowed to come in, at least for the delivery and the post-op, and basically until my wife and baby are ready to leave, I'm allowed to stay here. As long as I stay here. If I step out of the room, can't come back in. Only one support person, which means the wife can have the husband with her, she can have a doula with her, she can have another family member with her, but just one. If the wife has the doula, the husband can't come to the hospital. If the wife has the husband, she can't have a doula. I get not letting extended family come, but you definitely have to let the husband come, and if the wife needs a doula, then they should let the doula come as well. So that's something that needs to be looked into and changed, because that's a bit too much of a restriction. Come in. Another new restriction is that we are supposed to be wearing these at all times. Luckily, they haven't been making us wear it. One nurse made my wife put on a mask one time when she came in, but other than that, we've been pretty free to not have to wear these, which basically means that, you know, before we leave, we've got all these extra masks that we brought, figuring we were going to have to change them out. So we're going to be giving them to the nurses. Normally you bring cookies or whatnot to give to the nurses, but I brought the face shields that I made in the last video, and we brought a whole bunch of these N95 masks. So we already gave them those because, you know, we didn't know when the baby was going to be born, and we did know that only one person could come, and once we came, we couldn't get out. So making the cookies and bringing them up with us wasn't really a feasible option. So right now, nurses all across the country are having to deal without cookies, and that's sad. But you know, we were able to give them quite a few N95 masks and the face shields, and they seem to like those a lot more than cookies. They're all wearing cloth masks because there's, I guess, a shortage. Yeah, it's definitely an experience. When I saw, I was in the living room, I was there holding my wife's hand when Evan was born. I watched him come out. I got to snip the umbilical cord, and they took a photo of me doing that, so I'm going to include that in this. So that was cool. The doctor asked me, "Are you squeamish?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Cool, you want to cut the umbilical cord?" I'm like, "Sure." So that was a cool experience. I'm a daddy. That's really all I got to say about that. Oh, there's another difference. Obviously, they're in and out throughout the day, taking my wife's temperature and blood pressure, but now they're also taking the father's temperature several times a day. So that's not something that they normally did before the pandemic. So we're still waiting on the results for the latest bilirubin test. So far, he's had 3. We've gotten the results from the first 2. And the first one obviously was bad, so they kept him overnight. The one after the overnight light therapy was promising. They had to do another one 12 hours after the light therapy, and we're waiting on the results. If it's fine, then we get to take him home. If it's not fine, then they told us we have to leave, but he has to stay. So that's going to be hard. So, you know, let's pray that the test is fine and we can go home. And if we're able to go home, I'll show you the another thing that's changed, the car seat issue. So we just got some really good news. The bilirubin results for the 3rd test came back, and they're low enough that we can take him home. So we don't have to leave him here, which is a great relief to us. So we are packing our stuff up. Then as soon as they take the tag off of baby, the one that will set off all hell if we walk him through a door, we're gonna change him and put him in the car seat and hit the road. We're patched up, hitting the road.
Does he have a first name?
Evan.
Evan?
Yeah. And because cookies weren't an option.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. there something on? Oh, that's the, got to make sure the car seat's safe for baby.
Yep. It'll eventually be like the back of your hand, but in the meantime, so there's, I don't know if you remember when you were setting it up, there's like a little button that you push in here.
This is how it came, so.
Yeah. I just want to show it to you.
Okay.
You can't really, if you look, if you put your hand in there and feel, there's like a silver button that you push on.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Feel it? That when you hold it down, that loosens this.
Oh.
And the same thing when you're done, you
Tighten it up there.
pull it by pushing on the button. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just loosening it right now to get her in, get him in. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're gonna take off this blanket because you can never swaddle a baby in the car seat.
He's gonna scream.
Maybe.
Hey, maybe not.
Okay. So this goes between his legs. And each one of the sides goes over his shoulders.
Okay.
His outfit is a little
way
big.
too big.
He'll grow into it though quickly. Okay.
Just means we get a little bit longer with newborn clothes.
So then each side gets clicked in. Like that. And then you make sure that his knees are splayed. And then this gets clicked in like this. So this is too loose. So we're
you
going
pull on the strap.
to pull it a little bit.
Oh.
So you want to be able to have your hands in, but you don't want him to be loose in it in any way.
You don't want to be able to be jerked, but not so tight that it's hurting.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's it.
So that's it. We're in our car. We're demasking like criminals who just robbed a bank. And we're heading home. So hopefully we gave you a little bit of insight what it's like at least checking out of a hospital with a baby during a pandemic. So anyway, like, follow, share, and subscribe. And if you're normally here for my cycling videos, I'm going to have some of those soon. Bye.